Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com, here with random reviews from the Overflow room. And today, we're going to be, for a while actually, we're going to be talking about a composer who never used one of these wonderful objects. It's one of the things I don't like about him. It's Schumann, Robert Schumann with two N's, as opposed to William Schumann with one N. Now we're into the serious Schumann. Yeah, here he is. I've got tons of Schumann, and I never really cared for Schumann much, which is why most of it wound up in the Overflow room. It's only taken me, well, a long time to get into Schumann, because I find his melodic style to be somewhat uninteresting, and because my father, who was a crack prodigy pianist, was forced to play Schumann, and every time I mentioned Schumann, he had this strange Pavlovian, reaction. He would turn green and start to drool, and he didn't like Schumann. He wanted to play jazz, and I felt bad for him. So, but the fact is, Dad notwithstanding, Schumann was a very great composer and wrote a lot of terrific music. Yes, now I kind of like him, so there we go. That doesn't stop the fact that I have tons and tons of Schumann down here, which has been fun to get to know, actually. So here we have our first clump. It's a largish clump, and let's see what's in it. Yes, Schumann Lieder with Fischer-Dieskau and Christoph Eschenbach. Well, this is really quite a handy set. I mean, these Fischer-Dieskau boxes were wonderful. They really were, because they had, six compact discs? Yeah. And you have, all the major stuff. You have Liederkreis and Dichterliebe, and Album für die Jugend, and Lieder und Gesänge from Wilhelm Meister, and the Spanish love songs, and just all kinds of fun stuff. And they're very nicely sung. People have their arguments with Fischer-Dieskau, but you can't argue that he was one of the great Lieder singers, and he did all this convenientness. So there it is, conveniently in its box. And I think is there anything else going to fit there? I don't think so. I think I'm stuck now. Don't you hate it when you get to the end of a shelf and you don't have one single jewel box worth of space? So I look for those cheap things, those little pouchy, I don't have any little pouchy paper sleeve things here yet, but we'll see. All right, other Schumann stuff. Oh, this is wonderful. On C-Max, Sigurd Sletterbreck, there he is, doing Carnival, Kreisleriana, and the Arabesque. Now, he had the potential to be one of the great 20th century pianists. He only made 3 records before he gave up classical music and decided to become a pianist, general artist, mixed media type person. I don't know what he's doing now, but he was amazing. Did one of the great Grieg piano concertos and this Schumann disc, which is lovely, and so I've saved it for all eternity. Then we have another Carnival, Fasching Schwank aus Wien, and Alicia de la Rocha, the Allegro in B minor. Really, also another very fine Schumann player. I love this Carnival. I never liked Carnival, but I like this performance of it. It's starting to grow on me a little bit more, actually. It is. I like his late stuff, like Songs of Dawn and the Fugues and whatnot, but that's okay. Schumann, 4 Symphonies, Manfred Overture, Paul Paret. Shockingly good Schumann from an unlikely source, but we've talked about this in the Paul Paret box. This is the separate issue, which I'm hanging on to because it's just so convenient to have sitting around. Then we've got, Murray Pariah doing the Davidsbündler-Tänze. I love the Davidsbündler-Tänze. This is a great piece. And the Fantasiestücke, Opus 12, also wonderful stuff. So beautiful. This is early Pariah. See, he's like a young kid. He's just a kid there. And it's very, very fine. Let's see, what's this thing? Rico Gulda doing the Album für die Jugend, Opus 68. I've never even opened this one. I had this as a spare. I needed the Album für die Jugend for something. I forget what it was. And so I ordered this, and then I didn't need it anymore, so I just put it down here, and eventually I'll get around to it. One of these years. Schumann Piano Concerto, Ravel, Gaspar de la Nuit, Alberto Ginastera, Danzas Argentinas, with Martha Argerich and the Orchestra della Svizzera Italiana under Alexandra Rabinovich Barakovsky. I think he's now just Rabinovich, but boy, look at this. Great artist of the century. This was like, it's Argerich, so you get it. Is it great Argerich? Oh, the Fantasia Stücke Opus 12 are also in here, by the way. She's done this stuff elsewhere and better, in my view. But she always does the same thing over and over again. So she's only playing, by the way. She's not, is she playing this whole thing? Yeah, I think she is, actually. Yeah, that's good. At least she's not like hiding behind somebody. String quartets with the Eroica Quartet on Harmonia Mundi. A period instrument ensemble doing Schumann quartets. I forgot about it as soon as I listened to him. Sorry about that. Richter, yes, of course. This is his Decca world, the four fugues. I love the four fugues. Now, those are cool. Schumann was actually a marvelous contrapuntist, and he gets very little credit for it. The March in G minor, the Toccata, the Blumenstück, Opus 19, and Nachtstücke, Opus 23. So, yeah, I mean, it's Richter from the Teatro del Bibbiena Mantova, 1986. I mean, at least I think his piano was reasonably well tuned for that recital. The Yuri Egorov Schumann stuff. This is marvelous. He was such a fine Schumann and Chopin and stuff like that. He just did superbly well. These were very well received when they came out, and they really have held up really quite well. The Carnival, Toccata, Arabesque, Bunte Blätter, Kreisleriana, Novelettes, a couple of those, and Papillon. Really good stuff. Egorov is one of those guys. There's an Egorov box that came out with all that stuff in it. So, and then we've got the piano concerto. Here's the fun one with Martha Argerich and Harnoncourt. Now that's fun. And the violin concerto with an extremely slow and interesting finale. It's quite controversial and different. It's with Gideon Kramer. I like these performances actually, but the 12-minute finale of the violin concerto is kind of like weird. It's marked lebhaft doch nicht schnell, lively but not fast. Well, they are really serious about the not fast part. And the violin concerto is such a problematic work anyway, but this performance makes you listen. It does. That was kind of like a revelation kind of thing, actually. Dichterliebe, Beethoven songs, and some Schubert songs with Fritz Wunderlich. Well, it's Fritz Wunderlich. Need I say more? You must have it. Richter plays Schumann and Franck, Humoresque, Fantasia Stücke Opus 12, and the Franck Prelude, Chorale, and Fugue on monitor. Note, for this disc, Mr. Richter has recorded only 6 of the 8 selections in Opus 12. Well, yes, that's true. And that's okay. This is like really kind of famous, old, cranky Richter disc. You save them because they're Richter. What's this thing? Schumann, Kindersehen, and Kreisleriana novelette with Vladimir Horowitz, some late Horowitz. Really was very fine. Beautiful, unaffected, nice Schumann stuff. And last but not least, the Gesänge der Frühe, the Songs of Dawn. I love this piece. 13 absolutely heartfelt, beautiful minutes. The Nachtstücke, Kreisleriana, and the variations in E-flat on an original theme, also known as the Ghost Variations, the Geister Variations, with Andras Schiff. Also a fine disc. I mean, it's really good for people doing the Songs of Dawn. I'm just pushing those. If you don't know your late Schumann, that's something to listen for. It really is. So there you have it, my friends. Our first volume of Schumann and random reviews from the Overflow room. And we've got so much more to come. I don't know how many videos this is going to wind up being yet, but it's going to be a batch. So keep on listening, friends. Thanks so much for joining me. Take care.